Hello there. Excited to have everyone here today. We're going to give it just a minute or so and then we'll get things kicked off. All right. Well, I think we'll kick things off. Really excited to have everyone here today and would love to welcome you to the FYI by Find Your Influence. My name is Chelsea Goodson. I'm the head of creator economy here at Find Your Influence. I'm really excited to be chatting about today's topic, which is TikTok Shop, the creative and data behind it. Some of our topics today will include the right mix between storytelling and direct product promotion, steps brands should take to ensure that they are having a seamless journey from discovery to checkout, upcoming trends or features that brands should keep an eye on, and so much more. I'm really excited to introduce you to today's panelists as well. I will let them do some intros, but Anna would love to have you share a little bit about yourself, and we're so excited to have you today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is going to be really fun. My name is Anna Mayo. I work for a company called NielsenIQ. I know there's a mix here of kind of brands and also creators. So I'll give you a little bit more of the background, but we're really measuring what people are buying and from a holistic standpoint. So everything from Target and Walmart to Sephora to Amazon to TikTok Shop. So we've we can see what people are purchasing. We can see who is purchasing different products, how consumer behavior is changing. So many of the brands that you work with on a day-to-day basis, we're working with them and kind of advising them on brand strategy, and helping them understand, who their consumer is and where they're selling. So hopefully that's a good kind of simple explanation of what we do. But my role is I am part of our beauty vertical, so I work across all of our different beauty and personal care clients. And I'm specifically tasked with working on thought leadership. So that means thinking about the big trends that are happening in the industry, and bringing data and perspective behind them. And so today we're going to talk about TikTok Shop, which is the number one most popular thing I have been asked about all year. So it's a great topic, and excited to dig into it.
Yes. Thank you so much, Anna. And then Bria, would love to have you introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm grateful to be here. My name is Bria, and I am a TikTok Shop business owner and a TikTok Shop affiliate creator, meaning I not only promote my own products on TikTok Shop and sell through TikTok Shop, I promote other products from other companies and brands and sell on TikTok there too.
Amazing. Well, very excited to have you both today. I'm really looking forward to this conversation. Thought I would do a couple of housekeeping items before, just so we all know. All attendees' cameras are off, so no worries there. Microphones are muted. We do have our Q&A chat that's going to be open throughout the duration of our conversation, and we really encourage you to submit questions there. Toward the end of our conversation, we're going to be going through those and making sure that we're getting to your questions. So please put some questions in there. We're so excited to hear from you. And with that, we can go ahead and dive in. I've got a whole slew of questions in front of me and really excited to chat through these. I thought we can kind of start with an overview. And Bria, I'd love to ping you first and just hear a little bit how you got started with TikTok Shop and what you sell today.
Yeah, so I originally was invited to be a TikTok Shop seller in February of 2023. So when it first launched, I had an invite where I could sell all of my handmade organic non-toxic candles, bath salts, body scrubs, room sprays, and pretty much anything self-care and wellness related that I make on the platform. So I have been on TikTok Shop since February of 2023 selling my own products, but I didn't start selling other brands' products until May of this year. I didn't know that if you sold your own products, you could also sell other products for other companies. And I kind of merged my love of other brands and my own brand and decided to do both.
Very cool. What kind of, I know you shared a little bit about your small business, but what kind of products do you generally share that are on the affiliate side?
On the affiliate side, I'm pretty much in the beauty, fashion, wellness industry categories. So I work with a lot of the companies that Anna works with, and I get to try a bunch of new products pretty much daily.
Amazing. And then Anna, over to you. I'd love to hear about your journey and what it's been like to focus on TikTok today, within the work that you do at Nielsen IQ.
Yeah, absolutely. So another like kind of little piece of background, I don't want to bore you guys with all the nitty-gritty, but
Yeah.
what we are doing to capture e-commerce sales is that we have a whole panel, so a whole bunch of people who have opted in to let us scrape their inboxes. So when they get a new receipt from an online store, we're able to see it and see what they're purchasing. So as soon as TikTok Shop started selling, I know Bria was on there a little bit earlier, but the real launch was like August, September of 2023. So we
Mhm.
were able to see sales come in. So almost immediately we were able to say like, oh, this is a big platform. Um, there's a significant number of transactions coming through, and we were able to report that back to our clients. So it's been a little over a year, since we think of the full launch. And it's been incredible to watch the growth of TikTok Shop. So it's now the number 7 biggest e-commerce retailer in the US in health and beauty, which is massive. If you just think about all of the big stores that you've heard about, it's surpassed many of them. We've never seen any type of retailer grow like this. Like it wasn't possible in the brick and mortar landscape, right? Because there's no way you could build this many stores so quickly and roll them out.
Mhm.
And even if you think of someone like Amazon, it's taken them decades, honestly, to become as big
Right.
as they are in beauty. So the growth has been shocking and really phenomenal, and it's also been maintained year over year. So they've been able to tap into this huge audience that they have that's using the app every day and converting them into sales. And again, like we haven't seen, Instagram or YouTube or Facebook able to monetize on this as well. So it's a really unique perspective that they're bringing to the marketplace.
Yeah.
We also at NielsenIQ, we are global. So we are present in 90 or more countries around the world. So we are able to see what is happening in TikTok in other countries. It's the number 1 e-commerce retailer in China for beauty. In
Wow.
the UK, it's the number 2 cosmetics e-commerce retailer. And for Black Friday, it was actually number 1. It kind of bounces around. So there's even more potential, as crazy as that seems, for
Mhm.
it to grow. Um, I think the brands that we work with are really asking a lot about this because they want to know how to react to it, right? Is this something that they need to invest in? Is this a short-term trend, or is this a new way of shopping, right? I mean, you think about how you used to shop in the old way, it could take you weeks to find out about a brand, finally get to the store, finally order it. Now that can happen in 30 seconds, right? Like Bria can put out a great video,
Yeah.
tell somebody why she loves something. 30 seconds later, it's on the way to their house. So we're really thinking about this as just a new form of commerce
Mhm.
that brands, creators, influencers, we all need to be thinking about.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you. That's so insightful and really interesting to hear. I myself didn't think I even realized the growth that TikTok Shop has seen in just a short amount of time. I knew it was big, but hearing from you a bit more, it's just seems just extremely quickly growing and something that brands should definitely be keeping an eye out.
Yeah. And
Um,
I would add that it's more of a beauty phenomenon than other
sure.
categories.
That's
So
fair.
beauty, and then also apparel and home items, which I think is all what Bria sells. So she's right on trend.
Yeah.
But food, home care items,
Yeah.
that hasn't really hit on as much. So
Yeah.
I think this is something important to keep in mind too.
Sure, that's fair. I'd love to talk about the storytelling aspect of this. And I know, Bria, that's something that's really instrumental to you and your business.
Mhm.
I thought I would ask the question, in terms of creative direction, what's the right mix between, your storytelling that you do already and that direct product promotion? I'm sure we've all seen videos where someone is just really talking about the product that they're selling, and maybe mixing in a little interlude of, a conversation about why they like it or what it has done for themselves personally, but would love to hear your opinion on that.
Yeah, I think it definitely depends on the type of product you're promoting. When
Mhm.
it comes to my small business, what I found that works really well in my content is posting behind the scenes, getting the viewers to kind of understand why I have the products that I have, why I created my business, why I started it, and just communicating with them in a more authentic way than just saying, hey, here's a product, you should
Right.
buy it. And I think that really resonates with the person watching on the other side of the screen, and it goes a long ways
Yeah.
trying to build trust and credibility also that way, which is really huge in today's day and age.
Hmm.
And then when I think it comes to promoting somebody else's product, you definitely have to be real and authentic as well, but try to be creative with the approach you're taking. I don't really necessarily ever say, hey, you should buy this product because I don't want to be too pushy
Yeah.
come off that way to the viewer. So I'm always like, hey guys, this is a product that I just implemented in my daily routine. This is something that I'm loving. I got this product and I didn't expect it to work as well as it did, or just kind of things along those lines. And I see that my viewers actually engage with that and respond better when I promote things that way.
Yeah, that's amazing. Anna, I'd love to hear from your perspective if you've seen in the data, if there's one style that works better than the other.
Yeah. I mean, I think the answer is that both work. It's
Yeah.
just, it depends on kind of what you're talking about, who the creators. I mean, I think Bria has a really organic and natural way of selling. Like it feels like it's really her and it's stuff she cares about. You've got the whole other end of the spectrum. I'm sure everyone's seen this where you've got these people who have like basically a QVC set in their house and they are acting like they're on a show. But I mean, that works too,
Right.
right? So I think that's a bit of the power of the TikTok algorithm is that everything finds its niche.
Hmm.
And then there's going to be certain brands that work better with a more storytelling aspect, and then certain brands that work better with a more of a hard sell
Hmm.
aspect. When I was thinking about some of the brands and the products that have done really well on TikTok Shop, I mean, a lot of them did have either a strong hook, some strong story around them, or something very visual that people could see. So, are you familiar with the Fleur perfume? Their whole
No.
story was a stripper made me buy it.
Oh,
There's a story that someone, um, I don't remember the full story, but something about I think a stripper made a video about the perfume and she said everyone was commenting on how great it was. And then it's gone completely viral. It's actually one of the top selling perfumes that we're now seeing on TikTok Shop. But that's very, that's catchy. People like to talk about it. People like to repost
right.
about it.
Yeah.
The Wonder Skin lip mask, which
Uh-huh.
I know Bria has worked with, so visual, right? You put it on, it's dark. You can
Right.
actually see it working in real time. Another example like that is the Peter Thomas Roth eye firming cream, where people put it on, you can see the bags lift away.
Right.
So it definitely lends itself to more visual. But on the other hand, we're seeing enormous sales for fragrances. Like
Mm.
you just I never would have thought that TikTok Shop would be a place where people are going to buy fragrances. You can't smell it.
Right.
But it's one of the top selling categories, and because people are getting great at describing them, and there's also just so many exciting options popping up on there.
Yeah, so interesting. Well, appreciate you sharing that and would love to talk a little bit more about the shopping journey. And Bria, I thought I could go over to you. Curious to hear your thought on, how important is really the social proof? So we're talking about reviews, like shares. Anna was just mentioning, the fragrance category and how people they can't smell the product. So they're kind of buying them off of the description. But in your experience, just want to hear, how important that aspect is. And then maybe a second part is how can brands leverage these elements to really like boost that credibility and drive purchases?
Yeah. I think, like Anna said, the visual hooks are really what also drives a video and conversions when it comes to sales. I know I posted a video where I was reviewing a ionic hair dryer, and I also took a traditional regular hair dryer and I blow dried one side of my hair with the ionic one, and I blew dried my other side of my hair with the other hair dryer, and it got 2 million views. And I sold over 800 hair dryers in less than a week. So
Wow.
I think when it comes to actually trying out the product and doing a comparison, whether that's a hair dryer or, one side of your face with some makeup products and the other side of your face with other makeup products, I think it's really telling. And then the viewers can kind of, make their own thoughts and form their own opinions on that product and whether or not they really want to purchase it.
Yeah. Anna, in terms of TikTok Shop, and it really offers a very unique shopping experience. I feel like we've already touched on that in many different ways. What kind of steps do you think that brands should take to really ensure that seamless journey from discovery to checkout? Because, like you said, it could be very quick now. It could be, 30 seconds to learning about a brand to purchasing their product.
Yeah. I mean, it's the power of TikTok Shop, right? I mean, even 2 years ago, people would see something and they'd be clicking over to Amazon, clicking over to Ulta, and just anytime you're having to take more steps or clicking over to somewhere else, it's just the likelihood of actually purchasing is
Right.
going down. I think the other good thing about TikTok Shop that we weren't, again, once we launched, we weren't sure if it was going to happen is, are people going to trust this platform?
Right.
So is it going to be just a one-time purchase and then you never come back? We've actually seen that most shoppers have made at least 3 purchases,
Oh, okay.
which is a good sign for us that they had a good experience. It was trusted. They got what they wanted. It was the real thing. It wasn't counterfeit. It came in the right amount of time.
Right.
Um, that's not all easy to do.
Hmm.
If you think of competing platforms like, I mean, Temu is a great example. Like I've heard so many stories of people getting their credit card stolen when they try to shop
Right.
on Temu, right? Or never receiving the products.
Hmm.
So they have built a lot of trust, which is wonderful. I think other tactics that we're seeing brands doing are doing some product bundles, exclusive items, really incentivizing people to buy this now.
Hmm.
Many of these brands are available in lots of other places, right? If you're looking at Tarte on TikTok Shop, I mean, you can buy Tarte in hundreds of other places. So they've been really smart about doing bundles that are at a better price, right?
Hmm.
Um, Even limited time sales. So I think it's being smart about what makes that transaction happen at this point
Right.
and not get pushed off till later.
Yeah. Bree, feel free to jump in on any of these too as well. I should have mentioned that before, but I feel like you both have very insightful thoughts on these conversations, so feel free. But I did have one specific for you, Bria. I'm curious to hear from a business owner perspective if there are any benchmarks for, what you would call a very successful campaign. So your conversion rates, your ROIs, engagement. Is there anything that you look for specifically to know that you've really done kind of a good job in terms of, the content that you're putting out there and what you're gaining back from that?
Yeah, I would say pretty much all those things you listed off. Definitely ROI when it comes to ad spend or,
Right.
sparking the ads from other creators' videos that help with my affiliate program for my business. Definitely engagement rate, views, how many people stayed during a live stream if I sell during a live, how many people entered the giveaway during the live stream if I do one. Just
Mhm.
seeing how many users are actually staying within my page on TikTok is huge, and knowing if I'm doing something right.
Yeah, interesting. Bria, so in talking about the algorithm piece, and really the visibility of these products on the platform, are there ways that you've seen that creators or shop owners can really optimize the algorithm to increase product discoverability?
Yeah, I would say when it comes from a small business owner perspective, definitely optimize your listings with SEO because right now there's so many products on TikTok Shop. If you type in candle, like I sell candles, there could be a million of candles that pop up. But if you get really specific on, non-toxic, handmade, organic soy wax candles, then the chances of you ranking higher are obviously higher too. So I
Yeah.
think that's something to keep in mind if you sell your products, but I also think if you're selling other people's products, definitely keep the hashtags relevant to what your product you're describing or selling is. I
Mhm.
think if you do 5 to 7 hashtags, the algorithm picks it up better and it just boosts the video.
Yeah. Anna, do you have any thoughts on that as well?
Yeah, we actually have done a little bit of analysis on ROI as well and conversion rates. So we looked at the number of views that a brand was getting compared to the number of sales that they were doing in TikTok Shop, and there was kind of some different tiers that bucket out. So the very, very most successful brands were doing about $45 in sales for every 1,000 views that they were getting on TikTok Shop. But I mean, that's kind of like top of the pack, the
Right.
brands that are very focused on this platform, kind of all in. The more average amount was like $10 per 1,000 views. And then even brands that were new to the platform were only seeing around $1 per 1,000 views. So there's definitely a range that brands can expect, but a lot of it can really be tied to how much they're investing and how much they're focusing on the platform.
Yeah, that's fair. Um, thought and question for you both. I would love to chat quickly about Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and just hear if either of you have any takeaways from this year's sales. I know we're just kind of coming off of it right now, but would love to hear any takeaways from your experience this year.
Yeah, I can start. So Black Friday, Cyber Monday, it was huge across TikTok. I know the campaign launched a few weeks before the actual Cyber Monday, Black Friday day started.
Right.
But this gave shoppers time to kind of, curate what they wanted for this holiday season, see what deals were going on, compare across to other platforms, and then come back and obviously buy if they felt compelled to.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of other creators who I'm friends with had a lot of sales that were up, and a lot of their videos really just took off and they saw a lot of sales.
that's amazing.
Yeah,
What about you?
we saw a really successful we kind of look at the 5 cyber days, so Black Friday through Cyber Monday.
Yeah.
But TikTok, I said earlier, it was the number 7, number 8 retailer. It was number 5 for
Mm,
beauty over that time period. So an increase. 2.7% of all e-commerce transactions for beauty happened on TikTok Shop, which again is just massive.
yeah.
Beauty was the largest category, so 15.5% of sales on TikTok Shop went to beauty, and then it was followed by home, which was 13.3% of sales.
Mm,
Interesting that apparel wasn't number 2 because it usually is. So
yeah.
more of a home focused product. Makeup, hair, skin, and fragrance were the top categories. And then the other thing I would point out was that in the UK, it was actually the number 1 retailer for the Black Friday Cyber Week.
Wow, that's
Um,
incredible.
yeah, when we look at the products that sold, and Bria was talking about hair products, but we do see a lot of hair dryers, hair straighteners, and beach waiver. Those
Mhm.
were among the top selling products. So more devices
Yeah,
versus products.
interesting. What about for you, Bria? What were your top products that sold during the Cyber Week?
I'd say definitely hair dryers, beauty products, the bundles, any holiday gift sets, those were very popular. The Tarte Juicy Lips bundle, that was very popular. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you hear a lot about Tarte. I feel like they're doing very well from everything that I've seen on TikTok Shop.
Yeah, they are. They're doing incredible.
Amazing. What about from your small business, Bria? What were the things that did the best for you?
Definitely candles. With the winter seasons coming up, I would say body scrubs were my strong second, just because we're getting into the colder months. People want to stay warm and they also want, smooth skin that's hydrated. So those are always my go-to products that sell a lot during this time.
Amazing. Well, we're flying through these questions. I would love to talk a little bit more about creativity and commerce. And Bria, TikTok is really known for kind of entertaining content, if you will. I feel like you can scroll through your For You page and there's got to be something like we've talked about before. There's a hook. There's something that brings you in and makes you want to stay on that video longer. And I'd love to hear, from your opinion, how can brands really like strike that balance between being creative and promoting products without sounding too salesy? I believe you and I had talked about that previously, and I think there's a fine line, but would love to hear your personal experience and then any recommendations that you might have.
Yeah, I think you have to play around with it at first. It's definitely trial and error. See what audience responds best to what type of content you put out. Right now, I feel like a lot of the trending content with TikTok Shop are the posting of photos. So it's like a slideshow and then they can link it. I feel like that one's going over really well
Yeah.
because it's different than just a video.
Hmm.
Uh, but I also think that I feel like if you have different faces of a brand or different creators of a brand, the content's all different because it's coming from different people. So that also is a nice mix.
Hmm.
And I think if you do some trending audios or you participate in some trends and link the product, that also goes over really well
Yeah.
among the audience.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
It always feels like a bit of a mystery though, what ends up going viral, right? Like I don't think
Right.
anyone knows the formula for that, or else it wouldn't be so surprising when it happened. Yeah.
Right. I was going to ask, Anna, if you had any thoughts or data behind that. Because again, like you said, it's kind of a mystery. I feel like it just depends, but I'm sure there's some type of record to show, what might be performing best.
Yeah. I mean, going back to what we were talking about before, like I think that visual hook is important. So like the Wonder, I mean, that Wonder Skin thing I keep thinking about, but that's
Yeah.
been viral for a very long time, right? Because it just
Right.
continues to be exciting. And the same with the Peter Thomas Roth eye cream. And I mean, there's other instances where things just come out of nowhere and you just have to react quickly, or else you're going to miss it. So there's been trends around like rice water, like thickening your hair, right? And
Right.
then there's no time for a brand to develop a product or to like develop a campaign around that. It's either like you kind of had it and you talk
Mhm.
about it, or you miss it.
Yeah.
Um, so, I think it is tricky. I also don't think brands have really successfully created their own viral moments, right?
Yeah.
I can't think of too many examples, and I know many have tried and many have invested a lot of money into trying to like kind of force these campaigns to happen.
Mhm.
Um, Probably the best who have done it, or when there are kind of things that are happening in the culture that they have great reactions to and they kind of get part of the conversations.
Right.
Um, you know,
Well, speaking of that, I'd love to talk about a little bit in terms of the live shopping kind of aspect to this, and Anna, specifically for you, curious to hear how you feel that brands can, really craft engaging live shopping experiences that drive conversions. I think we've talked about already, the different styles that people can do. Some people have like full lights. I'm thinking about Michelle Fawn. She's a OG YouTuber. I've seen her set a couple of times, and it feels like you said QVC. Like she is very prim and proper and lit up and has like a full desk and everything. And then there's other people who are directly to the camera and it's just them and they're talking through it. But would love to hear your thoughts from a brand perspective. What might do best?
yeah, I mean, we've been hearing from our brand partners that the algorithm is really pushing lives right now. TikTok Shop is pushing lives, but they want you to be live for like 10 hours,
Right.
right? It's not just a quick 20-minute live. So it takes
Yeah.
a lot. I mean, you've got to be energetic for that long. You have to have something to say.
Yeah.
If you look in what's happening in China, I mean, they have been doing these lives for years, and it's kind of we've trying to people a lot of people have been trying to figure out how to bring it to the US. I mean, Walmart, Amazon, they've all kind of dabbled in doing these lives that really haven't caught on.
Right.
um they seem to be more successful. I know I've seen there was some news the other week about Canvas Beauty. They did $3 million on lives over on Black Friday.
Oh,
So it's definitely successful, but yeah, I mean, it's a whole production. You
right.
need people. Just a beach waiver is another great example where, you see the founder, Sarah Patempo. I mean, she goes live all the time for hours. Like she'll let you watch her getting her hair done. Um, that is the way it's moving. I it's kind of hard to say. I also think it's just hard as if you don't grow up with it to kind of envision how someone would really want to sit there and watch it for so
Yeah.
long.
Hmm.
Um, so it might be tapping into a bit of a younger consumer. But if you look at what's happening in China, I mean, this is what people do for TV at night, right? Like they turn
Right.
into lives. I just saw a video of, I forget what her name is, but she shows a product for 2 seconds, just says the price and passes it along. And she's making, millions of dollars a day doing this. I wish I could remember what it is. It was just crazy. She goes, shoot, pass. She doesn't even talk about anything. It just says, $3, $4, and that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it seems like that's the way it's going. At least it seems that's the way TikTok wants things to go.
Yeah.
The more eyeballs, the more time that you're spending on TikTok, the less time you're spending on other platforms, right? Or on
Yeah.
competing devices. So it's obviously in their best interest to keep people on there longer.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I'd be curious about what consumers are really looking for from it, which I haven't heard from, and maybe Bria has some more insight into that. I might be like a little too old, I think, and the people are too old to understand these lives.
Right now on my For You page, I have a lot of people comparing TikTok Shop live streams to QVC.
Hmm.
Um, so I mean, I feel like it's not for everybody, but for some people it is. I know when I go live on my small business page, I've made a lot of new friends. I've built a community. I have lifelong customers. So that's also really nice because there's more of an interaction than just me posting a video of
Right.
a product.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to hear what the conversations are like on your lives when you are talking about the product. Is it people reacting to your story? Are they sharing reviews if they've already bought it? Or are they just kind of maybe sharing in general, I like this, what product might work for this?
Mhm.
Anything like that.
A little bit of both. I have people that are really interested in my story. I mentioned that I sell in large retailers, and they're like, "How do you do that? What makes your product so unique?" So I
Yeah.
give them a rundown on that. I also have people that are like, "I really like citrus scents. Do you have anything along those lines?" So then I'll recommend products. Or if
Yeah.
I'm packing orders and somebody places an order, I'll package it there on live, and it just
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
adds an extra touch of
Yeah.
something that's unique.
Yeah. I
It's a
love.
new in-store experience, right? Like the
Hmm.
things that you used to get at a local store, which aren't there anymore, right? And you can find them virtually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned packing their orders. I feel like there's someone that I've seen in my For You page, and she's selling these live packages, and I believe they're crystals. So you get like a crystal package, and she'll open them up during and kind of see what you got, and then she'll like, set it aside, and then the intention is that it's being mailed to you. So there is something satisfying, I think, for consumers and seeing what they're getting, and then kind of seeing that product go from the hands of the owner to themselves. And I apologize if you hear Christmas music in the background, excuse me. It is the holidays, and I have some singing Christmas lights, and apparently they're going off right now. So I apologize. I'm hoping that's not too loud. They should be done in just a minute. Uh, um, well, wonderful. I have a couple more questions, and then would be curious to hear if you guys had anything else you wanted to chat through before we go into the Q&A. But Bria, would love to hear from you specifically about what you think the future holds for TikTok Shop. I know there's conversations going around about TikTok in general, and I know that's not something that we fear here at FYI. We are invested also in TikTok Live. So we have creators that we work with, including yourself, who
Mhm.
are a part of our program. So that's really important to us. And then also here, if you have any thoughts in terms of upcoming trends, features that brands should keep an eye on, anything like that for 2025.
Yeah, I think TikTok Shop's definitely changing the way of e-commerce as a whole.
Yeah.
I think the fact that you can actually purchase within an app and you don't have to leave the site is pretty remarkable.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
I think you're going to see a lot of other features come to the platform where other large retailers are going to give creators the option to link a product that they necessarily didn't buy on TikTok Shop from
Mhm.
another store, perhaps. I know that's kind of rolling out. I've seen online. I think overall it's gonna change the way everybody shops from here on out.
Yeah. What about you, Anna, in that sense? I would love to.
Yeah,
Well,
I totally agree. I think that's how we're thinking about it, right? Like, yes, there's always this news about TikTok being banned. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? I haven't heard anything recently about the ban going through, but you never know. But to us, this is a new way of shopping, right? And it's been proven and it's working. So whether it's TikTok, whether it goes back to Meta, we've got Temu and Shein that are actually selling pretty significant amounts in the US as well.
mhm.
Amazon Fall just launched. Pinterest shopping is coming, YouTube shopping is coming. So everyone's jumping into this space.
Yeah.
Um, and I think the brands and the creators that are able to crack it and able to prove that they can build a business on here are going to do really well. They just might have to be flexible and move platforms, but that's kind of the name of the game in social, right?
Yeah. And I would love to hear your thought on how brands can integrate this data that's coming from TikTok Shop into their other e-commerce platforms or CRM system, just so they're able to gain a more holistic view and also utilize that data really wisely.
Yeah. So what we've heard from most of our brand partners is that TikTok Shop's really kind of an awareness building place for them, right? So they're acquiring new customers. It's a way to get people into the brand. It's a way to introduce them to the brand. Again, you're off the average. The average transaction is like $20 on TikTok Shop. So that's kind of the sweet spot of what an item people are willing to spend on an item.
Yeah.
So again, like I think brands that are taking advantage of either doing bundles or kind of limited editions or some way of introducing their brand to consumers at that affordable price point.
Mhm.
Of course, we know they you can't have your whole catalog of products on TikTok Shop. I mean, you can, but it would be cumbersome. But definitely editing it down to those highlights seems to be the most successful. And then the plan would be to try to convert people, to your own DTC site or to buying through one of your retailer partners when they want to experience that whole line. The other thing I would call out is that we are seeing the most interaction between TikTok Shop and Ulta and Sephora.
Mm.
So TikTok Shop is right? Anytime a retailer is growing, it's because there's not just inventing money and from nowhere, like they're actually taking it from somewhere else, and so they are taking a lot of transactions from Ulta and Sephora, and less so from Amazon, which we were surprised by. I thought they would have been sourcing just from Amazon, and it doesn't seem to be the case. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's anytime there's a new retailer that pops up, and you need to really kind of rethink your strategy of where you're selling and what you're selling where, what prices you're offering. So it definitely throws another wrench in it.
Yeah.
But I would say I think the most successful brands are thinking about it as a awareness driver and a way to acquire new customers.
Yeah. Bria, how are you taking that data and kind of moving it into your other areas where you sell?
Yeah, I'm definitely taking the awareness piece, like Anna said. I've had customers that have found me on other platforms, bought directly through my website. They found my link tree. They've
Mhm.
referred friends. They became an ambassador for my company. I think really overall is just taking the data and making sure that you can, hit a new community, find a new target audience, hit different demographics. I know my demographics vary across apps, so the fact that I have a couple different communities and different target audiences within certain platforms is really nice to have.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Interesting. Well, we really just went right through all of our questions, and I thought we could kick things off a little early by going into our Q&A. So if you guys are up for it, um, for Bria, after your hair tutorial went viral, did you see more engagement on posts after that? And then did you feel you gained more followers after going viral, or was it just from like just the posts in that sense? So I'm assuming did you see a big boost and lift after that, or did it kind of just fizzle out a bit more after the post kind of had its lifespan?
I definitely saw more engagement overall across my whole account. I think I gained a couple thousand followers just from that single post.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know, but for every purchase that somebody buys through a shoppable video, the algorithm will automatically boost it.
Mm,
So then your engagement automatically goes up. So you get a higher reach, you get higher like counts, shares, all of that.
mm,
And yeah, it's definitely impacted my overall account.
yeah. Interesting. Let's see. Anna, this might be a good one for you. How soon do you see big brands moving over to TikTok Shop? And do we think that that will happen in the next few years? Are we going to see more retailers on there? Would love to hear your thought on that.
I mean, many of them are already there. They
Yeah,
might just not be selling that much, so you don't see
sure.
them. Um, every single brand that and retailer that we talk to are thinking about it. So it's not, when you're a big organization, it's not as easy, right? They have to figure out what team is going to do
Right.
this, and are they going to fulfill the products, and what is the
Yeah.
pricing going to be? So it's a lot of decisions, but yeah, I mean, most of the brands that we work with are thinking of moving over. I would say that, anecdotally, we have heard that some of the retailer partners are discouraging them from going onto TikTok Shop. So it's like, hey, we've really invested in you in our store, and we don't want you on there because they're threatened by the platform. So there is a bit of that going on. But I think everyone sees the opportunity, especially with young consumers. I mean, most brands are trying to reach Gen Z, and this is a big place that they're shopping and exploring and looking for brands. Um, and we've also heard from a lot of retailers that they're thinking about going on there, and they're thinking about how they do that. So I think
Yeah.
I haven't seen any retailers that I can think of who have a TikTok shop presence, but I think in the future you could imagine them kind of curating bundles of products themselves, or really finding some niche where maybe it's wellness and they're thinking about, here's the wellness brands that we recommend as a trusted retailer,
Hmm.
um, who might have a little more authority to some people than an influencer, right? Like, again, I think there's all different groups of people, and to some groups, the credibility of a retailer is going to be important to them, and others it won't be.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, Bria, from a a creator perspective, have you noticed any strong benefits of using TikTok Shop over driving users to other places? I know you mentioned your link tree, obviously that would link out to any other type of affiliate program like Amazon storefronts or anything like that. But have you noticed any really strong benefits in using TikTok Shop over the others?
Yeah, I would definitely say the commission rate is higher for TikTok Shop than it would be on my Amazon storefront.
Hmm.
Sometimes I do get conversions from Amazon for the same product, so it could be something to do with shipping,
Hmm.
or the delivery time is different.
Right.
But I think commission is a big driving point for me when it comes to staying with TikTok Shop.
Yeah. Feel free to let me know if you don't want to share, but I'm curious to hear kind of what the difference is between the commission rates.
Amazon's pretty low within the beauty category. I think it's anywhere from 5 to 20%, and my typical is anywhere from 15 to 20% on TikTok.
That's
So
substantial. That's amazing.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense in wanting to have that transaction then live on TikTok Shop if you're being able to pocket more of, what you're selling.
Hmm.
Wonderful. And then we do have two questions about we've gone through this, but for Bria and for Anna, I think this is important. I think a lot of people, see the QVC of it all. They see it's really just a selling perspective. But at the end of it, it really feels like it's the narratives that are selling the products. It's that which is, that connection that you're feeling with the creator that's selling it that might push you to actually purchase the product because you hear about how it changed their lives, how it simply just made them feel better, anything like that. But just would love to hear again any reiteration that either of you might feel up for sharing in terms of like that boundary between, really having an authentic conversation versus just promoting a product. And really, how that difference might end up in supporting a sales or really for you, Bria, your overall continued growth, has that really shaped and helped you, grow bigger each day because you're so much more authentic in talking about your products, or has it been a detractor from you? Would be curious to hear.
Yeah, I think it's definitely contributed to my growth. By now, my followers are kind of familiar with the content I put out and my narratives when it comes to products. They know that I don't promote products that I don't believe in. So
Yeah.
that kind of establishes a baseline of credibility.
Mhm.
They know that I stand behind what I promote, and they also know that I am giving my honest feedback. I've done reviews where the product hasn't been necessarily the best and I still post it. And then I've had reviews where the product's really good and I still post it. So I think just having people, do their own education on the product by looking at the reviews and seeing what I posted and what other creators have posted, it allows them to form their own opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been thinking about this a little bit. I feel like the whole marketplace has shifted a bit with influencers. Like I think even 3, 5 years ago,
Hmm.
people were talking about things that they had found on their own or purchased on their own. And I think now most of the stuff that influencers are talking about, they're getting for free, right? Or at least getting for free, if not being paid to talk about it. And I don't know how much the viewer of the content is aware of that.
Hmm.
Um, I think like everyone thought it would, knew it was kind of a mix of, hey, something I'm paid for, some stuff I'm buying myself. But I do feel like it's shifted, at least among the bigger influencers, that it's really a business for them, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Um, so that's something I wonder if there's any some cracks there and how people kind of perceive influencers. Again, like I just don't know how much the general public is is aware of how much of a business it is.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I know that I'm so deep within this space in terms of like the content that I'm consuming every day, and recognizing that many of these creators, like you said, are receiving this product for free. Of course, that is that they're going to give their honest opinion. I know we have seen cases in which that has been kind of stated that it's not. I mean, there's a lot of different things out there in terms of, I'm thinking Michaela, her last name is not coming to me, but she was talking about the mascara.
False
And
lashes.
Right, right, and wearing false lashes. There was a even a conversation around her recently with an e.l.f. product being as good as a very high-end luxury um, product, and her preferring the e.l.f. one over that.
Mhm.
But you're right, it is an interesting perspective, and for us, I mean, being in the business of influence, we're always looking for the creators who have the most authentic and open connection with their audience, because at the end of it, that honesty I think goes a long way. And again, there are creators who I think they're running this in a different way. Maybe they're afraid to say something negative, or they're afraid to like show a product that didn't work out for them. I think that is a fine line. And again, you will find people across the spectrum that I think are kind of utilizing this business model in a very different way. But at the end of it, it sounds like TikTok Shop is helping many creators like yourself, Priya, grow, and then also brands as well. I mean, hearing some of these stats you shared today, Anna, has been amazing, and knowing that specifically within the beauty space, it's just exploding. For me, I'll albeit and say that I'm on the older side of the millennial spectrum, and I have been a bit leery in the past to use TikTok Shop because I thought the same thing. Oh, is it credible? Oh, is it something like Timu, whatever it is? And then as I've learned and gained the knowledge within the space, I felt more comfortable with it. And now it's a way that I just feel like if I want to buy something, I'm probably going to go there. Usually there's some kind of deal. It's an easy way to find coupons. I'm saying that in an old school sense as someone who's always like looking up Retail Me Not or something like that. But it feels like it's a very new and interesting way. And I would be curious to see even, 2 to 5 years now, what that looks like and how the data is switching. Does it, continue to grow and take over as a primary retailer in many of these spaces, or is it going to kind of stay the same? It's hard to say, but it sounds like you both have a lot of insight into that. And maybe I'll pitch it next year. We should do a follow-up to this conversation because I think that would be really interesting to see where things have changed, even 6 months or 12 months to come.
Mhm.
Um, I
Yeah.
believe there was
I was going to add to what you were saying, too. So, there are a lot of young shoppers on TikTok Shop, but there's people of every age who are
yes.
shopping on this platform. So even like when I first saw the numbers of the percentage of 55 plus shoppers, it's like, this can't be right.
Yeah.
But everyone is not, there are shoppers of every age on the platform. I think like 8 or 9% of US e-commerce shoppers have shopped on TikTok Shop in the last year.
Yeah.
So you can really reach everyone, and that's what the power of that algorithm really finds the right people.
Right. Yeah, I will put this out there. I don't think he'll mind me sharing. My dad is almost 70 and he loves shopping on TikTok, and he was doing it before I was. So
There
kudos
you
to
go.
him and recognizing this as much sooner than I, of a place that would be, easy to shop from. And for him, it's all about ease and making the process really simple. So I should have taken a note from his book sooner, but
I use my dad's Amazon Prime because I don't
yeah.
have it. So there we go.
Yes, yes, love that. We had one more question come in. I thought we could wrap things up. It says, in what ways does TikTok Shop's algorithm driven shopping experiences reshape the relationship between creators, brands, and consumers? I think this is for either of you, if either of you have a thought and want to jump in.
Yeah. Um, this is something that we've been thinking about. I think the algorithms are really powerful and that can help you find the right audience for your brand. And that's amazing. I think on the other end, it almost does become a bit limiting in
Mhm.
what you are seeing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember last year, there was the whole big trend around Gen Alpha getting into skincare, right?
Yeah.
Um, and trying out these brands, but it was like 5 brands that they bought, right? It was
Mhm.
Drunk Elephant and Bioma and Tower 28 and Bubble.
Right.
And they found out about it on social media. So like yes, you have kind of a limitless amount of information, but like the way that the algorithms work, like people are almost seeing the same exact things, right? So every tween girl wants the exact same brands, right? There's like kind of a lack of individuality, even it's like even though there's way more choice than there ever was and way more things to see.
Right.
So I think that's interesting. And then looking forward, algorithms are going to have a lot more of a role in what people see and how they purchase. And we're already seeing in the grocery space, there's some startups like Hungry Root is one that has an algorithm filling your basket every week, and people keep like 70 to 80% of what the algorithm chose for them.
Right.
So in the future, like brands are going to be marketing to algorithms instead of marketing to people or marketing to algorithms or people.
Yeah.
There's already some AI enabled quizzes that are on like, if you take a skincare quiz on Target.com, it's going to give you, hey, this is your skin type, and here's the 6 products that we recommend for you. Like people will just kind of default to buy those products. And so in the
Right.
future, you can imagine brands paying for what the algorithm's recommending, right? How do they make those choices? So these things are going to start coming up more
Yeah.
and more. Um, and they will absolutely influence the way that we're shopping and purchasing and where our money is going.
Yeah. Bria, feel free to jump in. I wanted to make sure you had your opportunity to share as well.
No, I think Anna's totally right. I think she hit the nail on the head with that one. I know that as a small business owner, I try to target my videos to a certain group of people, so I can only imagine how other brands are going to start doing that even more.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we have covered a lot today, and my brain is kind of reeling. I'm thinking about this now, and I'm like, oh, I want to go do some last minute Christmas shopping at TikTok Shop. I know we're past the sales date in terms of receiving something for the holidays, but why not go and check in on there and kind of see what my algorithm is sharing with me. But it's really safe to say that we could keep talking about this for a long time. And again, I think a follow-up conversation would be really cool if both of you were open to it. Um, but again, wanted to just thank you both, Anna and Bria, for your time today. It's been a wonderful conversation. I know there's a lot of prep that goes into these webinars, so thank you both so much for participating, and making this such a lovely conversation. For those who are watching, you can find both Anna and Bria over on LinkedIn, and then also on TikTok Shop for Bria at Bria Burton. And then we'd love to invite you to continue the conversation. We have a Facebook group called the FYI by Find Your Influence. We talk about all things influencer marketing there, so TikTok Shop included. And then stay tuned for next month's webinar. We do these monthly, and we'll be announcing our next one soon. But Anna, Bria, it's been a pleasure, and I appreciate both of your time so much, especially during such a busy season, and wish you both the best of luck in wrapping up your holiday shopping and getting prepped for the big day. And just wanted to say thank you again, and I'll look forward to future conversations with you both.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for having
having
me.
us.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
fun.
all right. Well, thank you both. I appreciate everyone's time, and we'll be talking to you soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.